Hey guys, this is King Gio, and I do apologize for the delay in making this video. But this is 11 months after my wife had her hiatus hernia fixed. Alright, so I'm going to start off from the beginning. So my wife has had a hiatus hernia since, I would say, 2020, right? We first found out in New York, but it was real small. And it would give her some regurgitation. She would regurgitate everything that she ate. She felt stomach pains, and then it started getting a bit worse and worse and worse, right? And then we tried everything. Then, in last year in 2023, she got operated in April. But prior to the operation, she was trying some herbs that she did. Some Spanish herbs that we like soursop and some Mexican herbs that she took, and that would smooth some of the pain that she had here. But she could barely eat because everything that she ate, she threw up. We went to Puerto Rico. We didn't have a good time because she threw everything up. So and then we decided to go to the doctor, right? And they gave her both the endoscopy and the colonoscopy, but they both gave her an endoscopy. And the doctor said yes, she has a hernia. And when they did the CCAN, I think it was an 8 millimeter hiatus hernia. So it was like the gastrologist was like, well, what are we gonna do? But he didn't say anything back. He just kept giving us pills after pills after pills. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it don't. With a hiatus hernia, it depends how up the hiatus hernia is. You could have a hiatus hernia that could be low, and sometimes you could lower it from what they say by pushing it in. But if it's too big of a hiatus hernia, you're not gonna get it fixed. You're not gonna get it done. What a hiatus hernia is that this is your esophagus and your sphincter, and then your stomach. When you swallow something, your sphincter closes where it can go down. What happens is that your stomach protrudes through that sphincter, right? It goes out like that. And what happens is that so when you eat, instead of the food going in through here, it stays up here on the top. That's nowhere to go, and that's where you regurgitate, right? So there are many ways. Every country is different, but the fundal here in the United States is like the way to go. But there are different ones that I want to tell you. They have one where they do a 360 wrap, which they take your esophagus, right? This is your stomach. They take your esophagus and wrap it around 360 to close the sphinx here, so it doesn't come out, but the stomach doesn't come out no more. And when you do that, that means you can't burp anymore. You won't be able to burp through gas from there. You could do a 270 wrap, which leaves a wrap here like this. There you could burp, you get more relief. You could do half a wrap, or you could do no wrap. It all depends on you. It all depends on your doctor. So in my wife's case, she had 80% of her stomach out. It was right behind her chest. Right behind her heart. It was real close. So we went to a surgeon, a gastrologist, and we didn't feel comfortable with him because he didn't look at the chart. We asked him questions and we asked him, "Did you look at the chart?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I saw the chart." So he goes, "Well, what I want to do is I want to do a 270 wrap and with mesh." We weren't too clear about the mesh. We didn't want the mesh. We said, "Well, okay, we'll think about it. When the first think about it, we'll let you know." And within like a month or so and a half, we got a letter saying that he has set up an appointment for us for an operation, which we never talked to him about an operation. So that was a turn off right there. So then we went to another. Then we went to another doctor, but this time we went to a thoracic doctor, a thoracic surgeon, because I read that the best ones are thoracic surgeons are them because they can see from the top, they get a better look. So we looked at a thoracic surgeon who has done tons and tons of these. So we spoke to him. His name is Dr. Lightfoot here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Excellent doctor. And he went with a step-by-step, what is the hiatus hernia. He explained to us what it can cause, that it can cause, he has at that point, it can cause strangulation, and so forth and so forth. So he showed us the graph, showed how the stomach goes behind the heart. He said that could be dangerous because it could strangle you, one of your organs, and it could hold, it could strain your blood. So okay, fine. So then, he said I recommend the 270. So well, that's the same thing the other doctor recommended. He said 272. He goes, I recommend the 270 because it's much easier. So we were like, we didn't want the wrap. We didn't want any wrap. So then we told him, so what about no wrap? What about just pulling down the stomach back to its place, like it's supposed to normally do, and just leave it at that? And you have to put a mesh. You put a mesh in it. He goes, I can do that. He goes, I usually do that with my patients who are 70 years old or older. I don't do the wraps. I just pull the stomach down. So that's what we did. So the doctor came, took the stomach, pulled it back to its place. No fundo. It did no wrap. Took her stomach and stitched it up to her abdomen, right? And it worked. The first few days, the first month, I would say the first 2 weeks was horrible. She was in a lot of pain. Well, the first week she was in a lot of pain. And then she was able to eat a little bit. And then on the second week, we saw him again, and he said, "How you tolerating this? How you tolerating that?" He said, "Okay, fine. So now that you're with that, eat a little bit more solid food." And he's progressing with solid food. And one of the things that he said was that the reason why most people fail, or why the hiatus hernia comes back a lot, is because a lot of people over exert themselves. You're not supposed to be picking up heavy stuff. You're not supposed to be bending down, every time you get off the chair from your car or wheelchair, and you're going like this, you're making force, when you're like this, you're making force to your stomach, and that forces it up. So you want to keep this area as smooth as possible for as long as you can until all those muscles get back together again. And that's what you really want to do, right? And so for the past, on April, it'll be a year that she's been operated. And so far, so good. She eats everything. She eats everything. I tell her, listen, babe, chill, because you don't want to go back to the same place you were before. She goes, I know. But we don't eat greasy food. We don't, everything in the dry fryer. Dry fryer and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes we eat greasy food. Sometimes she eats too much greasy food. And I'll tell you, you don't want to get that hernia again. But as far as doing overexerting herself, she hasn't done that. Sometimes I catch her bending over, and I say, stop that, don't do that. If I got to pick something up, I'll pick it up. Because you gotta remember, you're bending down like this, and you're getting back up. That's pulling your stomach back up. And that's what you don't want to do. That's what you don't want to do. This is the bending down and coming back up. So if you have to lift something, don't lift it. If you have to bend over, don't bend over. You could barely bend over with one knee, like that. But as far as the operation itself, today it has become a success. No pain, no regurgitating. She does burp. Like I said, she eats basically everything. And the reason we went with that operation, because we thought to ourselves, why wrap something that is not meant to be wrapped? Maybe this operation is not good for other people, but for us, that's when it worked. The doctor put it back down, put a mesh on it. This way, it was a biodegradable mesh, and this way the stomach stays stable to the abdomen, and it stays right at the abdomen. So that's why you gotta be careful with the movement, because it can come off, and you don't want it to come off. And the doctor said, if anything does happen, you gotta give it at least 6 months before you even go inside. And the good thing is that we asked questions, and he answered each question to the best of his knowledge. We've asked him how many operations has he had. We asked him, out of all those operations, how many people have come back to you to do again, to redo the surgery because it didn't work out the first time. He only said 2. And he says he does hundreds of, I think like 200 surgeries a year. He does more of those surgeries than regular gastrology surgeons. So he knows what he's talking about. And the good thing is that he respected our decision. He didn't say, well, I don't recommend that. I don't think that's going to be a good idea because of this. No, he just said, if that's what you want to do, I'll do it for you. Those were exact words. If that's what you want to do, I will do it for you. But gotta remember that once I give you the once the operation comes out, and I'll give you a swallow test, and if in that swallow test you do not swallow, you throw up, you're gonna have to be taking pills for the rest of your life. And you're like, okay, fine. So they have the operation, they did a swallowing test, and everything came out good. Nothing major happened, nothing like that. But like I said, so it's always important to have that rapport with your doctor. And then if you have to go for a second opinion, see what another doctor says. I always suggest people don't ever let a hiatal hernia get 5, 10, 15 years and then do it. If you could do it early, that's my best recommendation. This is not medical advice. This is just my advice. Just do it as early as possible. I know some doctors that don't like to do it because for whatever reason, but I believe that the earlier you do it, the better off, because eventually you're gonna have to do it anyway. Get that over and done with. But so far, in April will be a year. It's been good. Like I said, she's eating everything, she drinks everything, no regurgitation, she hasn't regurgitated. Every symptom that she had went away the day of the surgery. On the day of the surgery, it was painful, don't get me wrong. But everything else, the regurgitation, the pain, the bloating, the gas, everything that she had just went away. There were times that she couldn't even sleep with her back. We postponed, and this time we said we have to do it. And she was scared, but we did it. So just keep on top of things. Don't over exercise. Speak to your doctor. Make sure you have communication with your doctor. Ask them the pertinent questions. How many times have you done this? If you have to Google him or her to make sure that this is the best doctor that you're, because you don't want to go back to do this thing all over again. Maybe 5 or 6 years from now, maybe you say, I have to go back. But at the time, you want to enjoy what you have, right? So I just meant to do this video because I forgot. I said I owe you guys a video, and yes, there are symptoms. The symptoms were like normal: stomach pain, back pains, pains here, pain in your back. That's what she had. And the only way that you can know that you have a hiatal hernia is through a CT scan. And that will tell you how many milligrams could be, it can be done. If the doctor says 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, take this, take that, I would say, can we just get this operated with? You don't qualify, but you can go somewhere else and look for another doctor who's willing to do so. Because it's just going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. During time, it is going to get worse. Because you're making all this movement, you're up and down, you're lifting this, that's going to keep on coming out. The next thing you know, when you go like this, it hurts. You don't want that. So, if you feel pain here, you feel pain here, you feel pain in your back, you feel pain right here in your shoulders, those are indicators of a hiatal hernia. But if it's painful like that, it has protruded out quite a bit. But if it's small, with a little bit of antacid, that pain goes away, because it's still within this reach. So it hasn't come out yet. If you want when the food goes in, the acid takes care of it and it goes to where it goes. But when you have it, when the sphincter not closing up very well, the dust goes down, then it can't come, and then it regurgitates. It goes back up. That's why a lot of people, when they don't take care of it, that's what they have a lot of. Their esophagus is all messed up. That's what they check your esophagus to make sure that you're good with your esophagus. A lot of people have acid reflux, and that throwing up acid reflux, that does a lot of bad to you too. But with that said, make sure that you get your doctor. If you're not comfortable with a gastrologist, go with a thoracic doctor. They're very good. Ask questions. per any questions. Don't let any stone unturned. If he says, I think this is the best idea, you can come back, look for other alternatives. I mean, because you gotta understand though, every operation does, everybody doesn't have a success story. One would hope so, but what's good for me might not be good for you. So you gotta check what's good for you, what you think is good for you. And if you think a 370 is good for you, if you think a 270, a 360 is good for you, or 270 wrap for you, or half a wrap for you, or 180 wrap for you, or just a pull down is good for you. That's all up to you. But you have to do your due diligence and you have to do your research. You got to make sure that you compare with other doctors, you compare with other people who have had the same surgery. The only thing about the page that you go to gastric bypass is that sometimes, like gastric bypass, when they do hiatus hernia, a lot of people put bad reports of what happened to them or what they're going through, but when they get operated and they're doing good, they don't put the good report. They don't put what's going on. I did this, I'm feeling great, I'm doing this. So it can give that person some hope. Because the operation, as long as it lasts, I think it was like 3 hours, it was supposed to be 45 minutes, but my wife her body is constructed differently. And they had to do some routines. But other than that, you feel great. You actually will. You won't have these pain anymore. You'll be able to enjoy life. The way it was meant to be. But just don't wait for a doctor to tell you, listen, this is how long it takes. And like I said, results is different from everybody. It all depends on the person's body, how you take care of yourself. The doctor. If you have a doctor that knows what he or she is doing, the chances are good. But ask those questions. Like I said, my wife had a pull down, and her pull down is doing great. Just no problem whatsoever right now. It's going to be a year, April 19th. This is February 28th. We're going to the 29th. So now, thank God that things have gone so good. So far, so good. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever on anything, let me know. The only reason she doesn't do the video is because she doesn't speak any English. She's Puerto Rican, but she doesn't speak any English. And I said, well, let me do it because I can explain a little bit better than she can. But yeah, speak to your doctor, take your husband with you, take your wife, take your child with you so they can give more support. But if you go through the operation, trust me, you won't regret it. Like I said, my doctor said that most the reason is that these hiatus hernias come back is because people overexert themselves because they feel, I feel good. After 2 months, I can do this. Oh no, you gotta give that. You gotta give that spot, this spot right here. You gotta give it time to heal. Gotta give it time to heal because if it doesn't heal, then it's not gonna go nowhere. So make sure that you take healing probiotics. It's good for you too. Take out if you can. A lot of probiotics. These right here. You can use these. You can use a line once a day because we're gonna remember, most of your immune system's in your gut. And you want to eat healthy, no spicy food, none of that. And you see how things will work out. Exercise-wise, I don't know what to tell you how to work. My wife is only 4 feet and she's handicapped, so she can't do any exercise. But she used to put her hands up like this a lot. We used to go like this because it used to hurt. So that helped her out a little bit with the gas. Walking, she can't walk. But after the operation, like I said, the first day, she regretted it. She was crying out. It hurt. But then when we got home, she was a little bit more pain. And then after the week and a half that she was home, she by herself went to the bed, and which was a good feat because she felt good that she did it on her own. And then from there on, everything was uphill. No pain, nothing she could do. Basically everything that she was doing before. But I still don't want her bending over the way she used to bend down before because we still haven't reached that 1 year period yet. And I don't want her to be lifting anything that she's not supposed to be lifting because she's still, my wife is wheelchair bound, and I don't want her to keep going like this. I don't want it to go. I don't want this to come back up. Like I said, 5 or 6 years would be fine, but to go back in operating table within a year's time or 2 years' time, it consumes your time, and you know, and it's kind of hard seeing your wife or your husband suffer and crying because of the pain, and there's nothing that you can do, right? And you know, rub the belly, put some hot, some heat on it, and that doesn't go away, you know. But for those who are considering taking it, getting the operation, just talk to your doctor, get a second opinion. I always try to get a second opinion and see if those two opinions match, and do the research. The research is the most important in the success rate of that doctor. And always ask that doctor, how many of your patients have come back? It's plain and simple. How many of your patients have come back? All right? So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. Hit that subscribe button right there and hit that like button. God bless.